Good afternoon, everyone. We are live with Southern Cooks July edition. We have Miss Mary Pince here with us today. She is going to be making us Brunswick Stew. Mary, take it away.
Hi, I did this a couple of years ago. We did this before we came to this office. So, when I was growing up, we would always have family reunions once a year, and we'd always have Brunswick Stew and barbecue. And my great aunt would make it from scratch at her house, and I can always remember how it tasted. So that's the way I tried to fix it. So I made it up myself. So anyway, she did it the old-timey way.
What was the old-timey way being?
When she would cook the Boston butt, she had an old grinder, and she would feed the meat through there and be cranking it.
Okay.
It was rough.
So today we're not doing that. We have barbecue from
Smoking pig. Smoking pig, the barbecue joint.
In Midway.
Yes.
So is that where we're going to start at?
Yes. This is 2 pounds, which I'm not good with poundage, because usually what I do is I go and buy a Boston butt. I either boil it or I put it in the oven and bake it. It doesn't matter. Then after you have it done, you let it cool. And then you just cut it up like you want.
Okay. How fine do you like yours?
Well, I like it chopped up, which Leah said it was like baby food. But when I was growing up, that's how I remember it. And there's a barbecue place in Swainsboro, because that's where we would get the stuff from. And they have it in jars. And it's ground up real good, real fine. And now my aunt would put chicken in hers. I don't put chicken in it.
So she would do the pork and the chicken, or just the pork?
The pork and the chicken. Not a lot of chicken, but she would do some chicken.
So this is 2 pounds of smoked pork from the Smoking Pig in Midway, and they do smoke their meat fresh every day. Miss Barbara says, "I love your apron."
Thank you, Miss Barbara. Good stuff from the CBD. This is what perks you get when you come and cook.
Say, "Hey, Joey."
Hi, Joey. I know he's wanting some the Brunswick stew that I had last night cooking.
He needs to carry his happy tail up here then.
I know. Him and Corey both. Yeah, I don't like it real chunky. I like it to be, just broken up. Not where you've got, long strings. But when you get to cooking it, it will fall apart.
Yeah.
Because I kind of cook it for a long time. When I started it last night, what I usually do, I put it together in a pot like that, and then I let it cook. But you have to cook this on slow, because if you don't, you'll scorch it.
You say, "Hey, Stephanie Ogle."
Hey, Stephanie. I've always enjoyed doing it. I hadn't been doing Brunswick Stew for a long time. I think I started it since I've known you. And I just played with it one day because I got to thinking about my aunt and how good it was when you're growing up. You remember stuff like that. So, and I hadn't had, when you get that taste in your mouth of a certain way, you remember how things were, and then it's like I hadn't found one yet that I've liked all that much. So I thought I needed to
make your own.
Yeah, play around with it some.
Stephanie said, "I love some Brunswick stew." But she needs to bring her happy tail home, and she can probably get some.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, you just go ahead. You can put about that's 2 pounds. When you do a Boston butt, Sometimes it's got more than that, 2.5 pounds or 3 pounds. It depends on what you want. And then what I do is I chop up an onion.
Is this a Vidalia onion? It's just a white onion, yellow onion?
It's just a white onion.
So it doesn't really matter.
No, it's whatever your preference is.
So it's obviously a pretty big onion.
Yeah, I do a big onion. You can do more than, that, but I usually just do one big onion. So I can chop it up. I don't like the whole crying thing too much.
Yeah.
Because this one is strong, because I had it last night when I was doing the Brunswick Stew, and it was strong. But
So if we see Mary start leaking, we just have to assume that I haven't hurt her feelings.
nope. This stuff was potent last night, and I like chopping it small. I don't like big chunks either. I'm not one that likes the big chunky stuff in my soups and stuff. So I like to chop it up. Oop, I make a mess too.
That's okay.
If you make a mess.
Then Mary gets to clean it up later.
Yeah. Mainly what I do is I like putting it first all in a pot, but I go with so much stuff at the time, because I don't put my potatoes. Some people don't put potatoes in Brunswick stew.
Those people are abnormal. Valerie says, "Hey, Mary."
Hey, Valerie. Yeah, most people, there is some people that don't think that Brunswick stew supposed to have potatoes, but
It is.
whatever. And I love it because usually you'll fill up on it,
Well, after you start the process, usually how long does it take to prep the Brunswick stew?
It might take me 20 minutes after I've had the meat all cut up and stuff. I think the longest part is like doing what I did, chopping the meat, chopping the onions, because then after that it doesn't take long to put it all together.
And then it takes a long time to cook though, right?
Yeah, I cook it a long time. Some people, like my dad, when he fixed it, he didn't fix it like me. He would just throw the stuff in there. And when he fixed it, because in his eyes it was already pre-cooked, because the meat was done. You're just kind of getting it warmed. In an hour or so, he would be ready to eat it. But I think it tastes, it's like soup or any other sauce you make. The longer it cooks, to me, the better it tastes.
And how long do you usually cook yours?
Well, like last night, I cooked it on the stove probably 20 minutes for it to get good and started. And then I put it in the crock pot. And this one has a low and a high temperature, but it also has a keep warm. I put it on the keep warm. I went to bed, got it this morning. It was perfect. You don't have to worry about it because it won't scorch.
Yeah.
And then you just get up, you stir it up, and then you're good to go.
We'll say, "Hey, Erica."
Hi, Erica.
Erica is watching, and Erica is going to be cooking for us in August, and she's going to be making summer-inspired beverages.
I can't wait.
We can't either.
So, move my pot down here, and I have my Old Faithful. This is Mr. Oscar. It is old, it's cracked a little bit, but it's hung with me for a while. I get 2 cans, big cans of the diced tomatoes. I don't like them chunky though, and that's the reason I will put them in here and just grind them up.
And what is here? What is that?
This is my grinder.
Okay.
I don't grind it up long, but I grind it up enough to where it's not real chunky.
Okay.
And then you just pour it over.
Now, why do that instead of just getting tomato sauce?
Well, I don't know.
Just because you like a little bit of chunky stuff in there?
Yeah, a little bit of chunky stuff. I don't like it where it's completely smooth. I like a little bit of the chunky stuff. To me, the sauce would probably be better, but I like a little chunk, not much at all.
Gotcha.
But, and then sometimes you might need, depending on how much meat you have, you might have to have maybe one more can. Okay. It just depends, because the crazy thing is it cooks down. And that's how you get your juice, you know?
So we used one large can and one small can of petite diced tomatoes.
2 large cans.
2 large cans. Sorry, we haven't gotten the other large can yet.
Yeah. 2 large cans and 1 small can.
Got it.
And a lot to me.
You can't talk when the blender's on. It's what?
I said it just makes it a lot easier to me because
Okay.
I don't like chopping. I mean, you can use
Rosemary sauce at us?
You can use fresh tomatoes. Mm-hmm. You know, put them in the grill or put them in the blender or whatever. But I like those. Kind of like chicken. And then all I do now is pour it in here.
So in there we have 1 large white onion that's been chopped pretty fine. We've got 2 large cans, 1 small can of petite diced tomatoes that have been Oscared. And we have 2 pounds of smoked pork, pulled pork from the Smokin' Pig in Midway.
Right. And now, this is cream corn. And what I usually do is I do 2 cans.
There, it has a self-opening thing on it.
Not this one. The cream corn doesn't. Those do. I used 2 cans of cream corn, but last night with my little cans, I went and messed up and got too many cream corns and not enough of my whole kernel corn. Got too many of whole kernel corns, but it's 2 cans of the cream stock corn.
Okay.
And then it's 2 cans of the whole kernel corn.
You drain it.
Yeah, you drain it to get that excess juice out. But then I usually just put it all together, and then I stir it, and then I put it on the stove and just let it go on low.
I've seen some people use okra in Brunswick stew.
Yeah. I don't put okra in mine because I have family members that think okra is slimy and they don't like slime. But I do put little green early peas.
Okay.
The little peas. But usually what I do is I wait for the peas because I let it be the last thing I put in. Mm-hmm. Because to me, sometimes things cook down, mm-hmm. and I let them go in last.
From that big thing of spoons that she walked right past.
Yeah, this just was not good. I think I heard crackage. But then you just stir it together. It's pretty colors, but you have to put this now on low.
Okay.
And then you just let it cook.
Now, what about your salt and your pepper and all that stuff?
I don't put pepper in mine. I do put salt, and that's for this one. I put it on low, and what I do is I just put, like I said, salt in it. You don't want to put too much because
Let me see your hand before you do that, please.
Okay. You don't want to put a lot because you want just enough for taste. Because you get it too salty to me, then it isn't no good. Okay. So now that will go on cooking for maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then what we do after that is we put potatoes in it.
Okay.
And since it's going to cook for a while, I can go ahead and do that. Because they have to cook. Sometimes I will cook my potatoes and pre-cook them, and then that way you don't have as long, because you know when you cook them like this, potatoes take a minute to get done.
Now, why don't you use the potato skins?
I just peel it. Although I've been told that that is one of the best part of the potatoes because it's, I guess, healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll make a mess up here.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, I always peel my potatoes and put them in there.
So we're going to leave that for 20 minutes cooking, and then you put the potatoes in?
Yeah, and let it cook. You let it cook. Like last night, I put it in, and then after I put it in, I just left it in the crock pot, went to bed, and then what I did was, this morning when I got up, first thing, I stirred it, and I drained my peas, and put my peas in there.
So the peas you actually do put in at the very, very end.
The very, very end.
Okay. Hey, Miss Donnie. Hey, Sherry.
How are y'all? I've always enjoyed trying to figure out how to make Brunswick stew and stuff. And me and my daughter, we always love trying different recipes. But
So how many potatoes are you going to use?
I'll probably use just 3 or 4, because what you do is you dice them in small you dice them up small.
Okay.
Because you don't want big chunks in there. But then after you do that, you're good to go for a while. But you got to keep stirring it while it's on low.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get it scorched, that whole pot, everything you just worked hard on, is ruined. But you don't want to do that.
And you keep talking about the chunks. If somebody does like theirs chunky, they can certainly do it that way.
Right. My dad did. He didn't care. He liked it. He thought he had the best Brunswick stew around, which it was okay, but I always teased him about trying to get him to make it where it wasn't chunky.
And Miss Donnie says she loves Brunswick stew. And Sherry says I should have stopped by after instead of this morning. And what she doesn't know is that crock pot right there is full of Brunswick stew that was ready when you were here earlier. We call that the miracle of TV magic.
Absolutely. And see, just chunk it, little chunks, you know. It just makes it so much nicer to me. But that's the only seasoning I put in it is the salt. Okay. I don't do anything else because the meat will flavor it, and I could have cut them a little bit smaller. But
I know some people put hot sauce on theirs too, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I don't. I do it afterwards because with me, I'm afraid I'm going to make it too hot. So I put it in after.
And Sherry said we were holding out on her. How dare us?
Well, we had one guy come through a while ago, and he left with a bowl.
He did leave with a bowl. So sorry.
Yeah, but we want to keep on good terms with him.
Yeah.
So
not that we don't want to keep on good terms with you. We like you too.
No. But you always want to be on the good side of the law.
Yeah.
You want them to be your friends.
Now, that does not mean call every cop you know and send them to our office.
No, please don't. We don't have that much Brunswick stew ready. And these will cook down some, because like I said, some of them I could have cooked. They're usually smaller than that. But when they cook all night, it will be smaller.
And I can see there's not a whole lot of liquid in there, so that's why you said you need to keep stirring.
Mm-hmm. Because once it starts cooking, then you'll see the juice, and you'll see how it looks.
Okay.
But that's, right now, that's all we can do.
Hey, Tyreek. Thanks for tuning in. All right, Mary, so remind us of what we have in the pot, and then we're going to serve up a dish and taste test.
Okay. We have 2 pounds of smoked pork and a big onion. And we have 2 big cans of diced potatoes in a can. Tomatoes in a can, and 1 regular one. We have 2 cans of cream corn, 2 cans of whole kernel corn, and you drain it and then put them in there. And then you do your potatoes and you put them in there. You can do it whenever you want to.
And then the peas would go in very end whenever you're ready to eat it, just about.
Right.
Okay.
So they won't fall apart.
Now, through the miracle of TV magic, let's see what a finished Brunswick stew looks like.
Yes.
And let's put some in the bowl.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is what it will look like when it's all over. And it, believe it or not, it is juicy. Like that's not, but this is.
All right, the first taste test then, since Andrea has never had Brunswick stew. Andrea is our new communications assistant, and we're going to let Andrea try first. She was busy taking pictures. She didn't know she was going to be the first taste tester.
No, I did not, but I'm excited. I've been smelling it all day.
Let's see what she thinks. And she makes a bad face, we're just going to turn it off. It's probably really hot too.
Yeah.
It is very hot, so be careful, don't burn yourself.
What do you think?
It's delicious. That smokiness, it comes through.
Very cool.
Very good. Love it, Mary.
Thank you.
All right, so we are going to sign off, and we're going to thank Mary, our coordinator of First Impressions, for making Brunswick stew today. We hope y'all have a good weekend.